What's up, guys, and welcome back to my O. Henry reading journey. Today, as usual, I'm reading the next part, the fourth part of Roads of Destiny. So, let's continue. With a little cry of terror and despair, the widowed maid ran and stooped above him. She found his wound and then looked up with her old look of pale melancholy. Through his heart, she whispered, or his heart. Come, boomed the great voice of the Marquess. Boomed. Out of. Oh, sorry. Out with you to the carriage. Daybreak shall not find you. Daybreak shall not find you on my hands. Wed you shall be again, and to a living husband this night. The next we come upon, my lady, highwayman or peasant. If the road yields no other than the churl that opens my gates. Out with you to the carriage. The Marquess, implacable and huge, the lady wrapped again in the mystery of her cloak, the position, bearing the weapons, all weapons, all moved out to the waiting carriage. The sound of its ponderous wheels rolling away echoed through the slumbering village. In the hall of the silver flagon, the distracted landlord wrung his hands above the slain poet's body, while the flames of the 24 candles danced and flickered on the table. The right branch. That's a heading. 3 leagues, then the road ran and turned into a puzzle. It joined with another and larger road at right angles. David stood uncertain for a while, and then took the road to the right. Angles. Whither it led he knew not, but he was resolved to leave Verony far behind that night. He travelled a league and then passed a large chateau, which showed testimony of recent entertainment. Lights shone from every window. From the great stone gateway ran a tracery of wheel tracks, drawn in the dust by the vehicles of the guests. 3 leagues farther, and David was weary. He rested and slept for a while on a bed of pine boards at the roadside. Then up and on again along the unknown way. Thus for 5 days he travelled the great road, sleeping upon nature's balsamic beds, or in peasants' ricks, eating for their black, hospitable bread, drinking from streams of the willing cup, of the Goddard, Goddard, Goddard. At length, he crossed a great bridge and set his foot within this smiling city that has crushed or crowned more poets than all the rest of the world. His breath, brief, his breath came quickly as Paris sang to him in a little undertone her vital chant of greeting, the hum of voice and foot and will. High up under the eaves of an old house in the Rue Conti, David paid for a lodging and sat himself in a wooden chair to his poems. The street, once sheltering citizens of import and consequence, was not given over to those who ever follow in the wake or decline. The houses were tall, and still possessed of a ruined dignity, but many of them were empty save for dust and the spider. By night there was a clash of steel and the cries of brawlers, strain restlessly from inn to inn, where once gentility, gentility, where once gentility abode, was now but a rancid, and rude incontinence. Where once gentility abode, was now but a rancid and rude incontinence. No idea what's going on in this sentence. But here David found housing commensurate to his scant purse. Daylight and candlelight found him at pen and paper. One afternoon he was returning from a fora foraging trip to the lower world with bread and cards and a bottle of thin wine. Cards. Halfway up his dark stairway he met, or rather came upon, for she rested on the stair, a young woman of a beauty that should balk even the justice of a poet's imagination. A loose dark cloak, flung open, showed a rich gown beneath. Her eyes changed swiftly with every little shade of tonight. Within one moment they would be round and artless like a child's, and long and cassanting like a gypsy's. One hand raised her gown, undraping a little shoe, high-heeled, with its ribbons dangling untied. So heavily she was, so unfitted to stoop, so qualified to charm and command. Perhaps She had seen David coming and had waited for his help there. Oh, one monsieur, pardon that shoe occupied the stairway, but the shoe, the naughty shoe, alas, it would not retain tight. Ah, if monsieur would be so gracious. The poet's fingers trembled as he tied the contrary ribbons. Then he would have fled from the danger of her presence, but the eyes grew long and kazanning, like a gapses, and held him. He leaned against the balustrade. So many interesting words, guys, right? In this story, clutching, clutching his bottle of sour wine. You have been, you have been so good, she said, smiling. Does Monsieur perhaps live in the house? Yes, madame. I think so, madame. Perhaps in the first story, then? No, madame, higher up. The lady fluttered her fingers with the least possible gesture of impatience. Pardon, certainly, I'm not discreet in asking. I'm not discreet in asking. Monsieur will forgive me? It is surely not becoming that I should inquire where he lodges. Madame, don't say so. I live in the. No, 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 no. Don't tell me. Now I see that I erred. E double R and ED. Erred. But I cannot lose the interest I feel in this house and all that is in it. Once it was my home. Often I come here, but to dream of those happy days again. Will you let that be my excuse? Let me tell you then, for you need no excuse. Stammered. Stammered the poet. I live in the top floor, the small room where the stairs turn. In the front room, asked the lady, turning her head sideways. The rear, madame. The lady sighed, sighed, as if with relief. I will detain you no longer than, sir, she said, employing the round and artless eye. Take good care of my house. Alas, only the memories of its are mine, of it are mine now. Adieu, and accept my thanks for your courtesy. Courtesy. She was gone, leaving but a smile and a trace of sweet perfume. David climbed the stairs as one in slumber, but he awoke from it, and the smile and the perfume lingered, lingered with him, and never afterward did either seem quite to leave him. The lady of whom he knew nothing drove him to lyrics of eyes, lyrics of eyes, chansons of swiftly convinced love, odors of curling hair, and sonnets to slippers on slender feet. Poet he must have been, for yon was forgotten. This fine, new loveliness held him with its freshness and grace. The subtle perfume about her filled him with strange emotions. Alright, guys, we're gonna continue with the next part, but tomorrow it's a long story. Probably 4 more parts. 3. Thank you for joining me today and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.